REEF-LUX is a lightweight weapon of the new Stringer class. It fires 3 arrows like the Tri-Stringer, and first and foremost, really good to paint, especially on the ground. But fine on the wall. I must on the ground. Trying to walk forward, it paints like this. But be careful with foot paint, it might not quite be there. But of course makes one of your main jobs to paint upper zones, obviously, and the ground around people painted. But yeah, of course with painting alone you're not gonna win fights, so let's talk about damage as well. Tap shots deal the tap. Yeah. To show here. Wait, was it 30 or was it 30? Oh yeah, right, that is 32 in fact. Yeah, every tap shot is 32 damage. But you see that spread pretty wide, so like where to tap spam or chum here. Usually only hit one, sometimes two. To hit all of them you literally need to be at point blank. Tap shotting theoretically does have the highest damage per second at 411. That goes down to 257 if you do the full charges, frame perfectly. And what you actually wanna do is mostly partials. This. You may have noticed that audio cue there, that happens when you get to the first full charge of the two rings here. See, like that. That is roughly when that happens, is when you wanna release. That's how you get the best DPS hit ratio, if you will. By that time the arrows are close enough that they are most likely to hit whatever you're aiming at correctly and missing. And that doesn't sacrifice too much just from just the tapping. But there are targets where the taps are perfectly optimal. Those would be big shots and Kozuna most notably. But you even for Cohawks do the partials. Yeah, that is a quick 3-hit like that. And for Necrots of Lessers too. Small fries as well, you see we're not one-shotting them with the taps, so partial them. Then you will be one-shotting them. Oh yeah, and don't get fooled by this being a bow and thinking it's a long-range weapon or anything. No, it's actually not. It's more like a shotgun kind of thing, really. You wanna fight at point blank a lot. You do have a full charge to hit some things at range sometimes. You can even swim and hold it. Can be situationally nice. Not something to be stoned or anything, but it is useful. I have used it. Now, the way that you mostly use the fully charged shots is you wanna hit some distant target that you are not quite close to yet. You can also strafe decently enough while charging. Then you can also just release any kind of partial on them as soon as you're hit at, like say, tag a scrapper or hit ship damage on the head most notably. The full charger deals 210 damage if you hit all of them, 70 per arrow. It goes from 32 to 70 pretty much. It's 50 at the first circle and pretty much scales linearly for the most part. The way you fight steel heads, it's interesting. This is... oh, if you... ah yeah, that angle is good. Do you see how the reticle actually moves without me actually moving my controller? This happens because of the range increase. Like with Sloshes or the Tri-Stringer, arrows are flying in this kind of arc and the reticle is affected by that, so account for that in your aiming. Like say if you start your charge here and yeah, the steel head will not actually be there once you're by the end of that charge. So be aware of that. Then how you're actually killing that. One full and then a partial usually does it, but you do need to hit enough of your arrows or else you're gonna fail. You also do verticals to maybe raise your accuracy a bit. Usually it's needed. However, it does give you a little bit of extra range though. So that is also something where it could be useful for. here. My reticle is literally not on him. 2 hits. 3 hits. It is not super consistent for sure. And when you're up close, like on a ledge or something, then feel free to do the partial thing again as well. If you're doing it right, you should get it in 2 hits then. I'm not quite show it here because there's a buffer range difference. The second one was just too quick now. Again. But yeah, you get the idea anyway. Should be fine. HP bosses, big shots I've mentioned, you can literally just tap him down in 3 seconds. I'm not kidding with that. But if things are getting in the way, then start to partials to protect yourself and stuff. Bristlers, again, partials because otherwise you're not gonna get hit, or just do the thing with the torps. You should be able to move around fast enough that you can line them up correctly. The map allows you to. Blitz, you may hit them with arc shots, however, are not two-shotting with a fully charged shot. Like one requires some precision. Yeah, it's an option you have when you cannot quite lower them, but are otherwise safe. Maybe have some high ground as well. That is true for arc way. Anything else? First thing is just do vertical tap spamming, like this. That means you're hitting the most pots and for the most optimal damage. The fish sticks you cannot do what you can do with the other stringers, which would be tap them right side under on the ground. No, you actually have to claim them. You paint them just as usual with vertical shots, like go up and then you hit them with horizontal taps and pretty good. And the taps are actually killing them. They have only 32 HP instead of usual small fry HP. That is also nice. Hey, I do not think so. That's what also mentioned. Brings us to the night waves, which I also have no notes. Waste of time. Anyway, the way you wanna play this weapon is you're basically hardcore support, if you will. Even though it's lightweight, the mobility of it is like fine, but not super amazing or anything. Simply due to the fact that it always needs to stop a bit in order to fight things that are getting in its way. Yeah, what you mostly wanna do is stay somewhat within reach of people and like keep the ground around them painted, protect them from lessers and stuff. Of course, deal with the occasional boss that gets in your way. But yeah, when you do see no one going fasting or a big shot or anything, then by all means do it yourself. Yeah, probably one of the more expandable weapons still. Like the DPS on this, it's definitely alright, it's not weak or anything. But it's at close range only. But yeah, that will be the REEF-LUX.